The greatest glory in living lies in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is On the Block Podcast with Jay, aka Coach J, aka J Boogie. And yes, I decided to do a podcast because after seeing all these YouTube videos and listening to podcasts on different apps, it seemed fun. It seemed like something that I could really get into and actually go out my comfort zone. Because if you knew me, I'm not the type to like to talk a lot unless it's you with my family, my friends, and everybody else who I consider in my circle. So this is kind of different to me. It's also new, and at the same time, I am nervous and both excited at the same time. So yeah, let's get into it. So the content of this podcast and why did I choose On the Block? Well, I'm an urban hip hop head myself, because I'm very versatile. I like to talk about different things, not just about basketball, sports, the typical male stuff. I like talking about fashion, music, health, fitness, um, any current events, any lifestyle changing things, or hot topics at the time. So, even though this is the different topics I just laid out, I'm mainly gonna really be talking about basketball because that's just my love and my passion, and I'm just passionate about basketball. So I might have other guests on here, you know, talking about many different other topics, but is the at some point it's going to mainly come back to basketball, which a lot of you people probably is going to either hate or love at the same time. So with that being said, what better way to start off a podcast than to give an intro about yourself? So basically, I'm a loving father from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I love being a father and all the aspects about it. The sacrifice, the time, and the teaching you do with your kids, at all point, because all that stuff done taught me a lot of things about life. And for you people who are fathers or parents or anything, knows that there's no greater love than the love from your child. And I guess everybody get an amen with that. So yeah, and also like I said in the beginning, besides being a loving father, I am a hoop junkie. But I also like video games, video games, other sports, science. I'm into a little bit, astrology, geography, and all that other stuff. But yeah. So yeah, without further ado, I'm giving you a little bit intro to my basketball background. Well, I started watching basketball at the age of 10 when my father would come in, God bless his soul, and would watch the games. He was a Knicks fan. And just because of him, I am a Knick hater, by the way. But I love everything, other teams, other New York sports. But anyway, so I would watch games with him. And then, at that time, he got me a basketball. So it got me a basketball, and I would usually go outside right here to the course. And after watching the games, I would go imitate what I seen on TV. But before going outside, I also had a little Nerf hoop here, like everybody else did. With dunking and everything, dribbling, and probably cause some type of damage to like plates and stuff like that. I love you, mom, if you're watching this. And other things. So I started actually playing and learning about the game of basketball at the age of 12. And that, my friend, right there was a very young age. I would go out here, think I knew what I was doing, playing with the other neighborhood kids out here, like I just watch the game. I'm gonna do those stuff that's on the game. Yeah, I didn't get too good of turnout with that. So, but but growing up, when I'm watching the game of basketball, I would watch such different greats. Michael Jordan being my favorite athlete of all time, which I'm probably sure like 85 of the sports population is. But I also watched people like Kevin Garnett, Zach Randolph, and Kobe Bryant. May that man rest in peace. And my era of basketball is the early 90s to early 2000s. And that's my era, which I personally consider the greatest era of all times because of the competitiveness that I've seen, like the hard fouls, the hard work these athletes were putting in. So that's what I consider a great era of basketball. And also at the same time, I also respect this new era of basketball too, because that people who are saying that LeBron is the greatest of all times and Giannis. Oh, I mean, let's be realistic here. LeBron is the greatest of this generation and right now. But to me, there's really no such thing as a great of all time, because there are different eras of basketball where, that these greats now pioneered their game from. So anyway, let me get out for that situation. Oh man, coming up in the hood, Best Stop, Brooklyn, Tompkins projects, it wasn't a walk in the park, especially playing ball out here, man, because how the geography of Tompkins projects, if you know, we used to have 4 basketball courts, which now whoever lame brain idea was to cut it down to 2, which I would never to this day understand. All they had to do was just really repave it and widen it up and put different rims in. We could have still kept 4 courts, but now we got one full court, 2 junior courts, and 1 shooting court, which I don't know why. But anyway, back to the Portland day. We have 4 courts. So if you play ball in any hood, you will understand that each court had a different meaning. So we had 1 court which was the scrubs, which dudes who never really played ball, but they played it on there. We had the other court which was the up and coming court, and dudes who was like that next level who graduated from the scrub court go there. They're not scrubs no more. They're playing good. Okay, yeah. Then you had the elite basketball court where everybody was like, the OGs and the good ball players. If you got lucky to play with them, you was considered elite back in Tompkins days. And you also have the other court, which was the shooting, getting ready court. Now that I think about it, coming back in the day, we never really ran as many full courts as we did. But we did run full courts. But we was mostly in the half courts, 3-on-3, 4-on-4s, and stuff like that. We only get into the full court if we had enough heads, because we really didn't have enough heads growing up that was play ball seriously. We would have dudes who would like to play ball and like, oh, I want to play next and anything like that. But yeah, me starting out playing ball, like in my age group, I had like a good tier of guys like that's in my age group. Not counting the dudes who are younger than me or whatever, who I still play with their generation too. But the dudes who was like my age and older, like, like we had like, it was like literally 3 big dogs that I feel that was in Tompkins at the time. And the 3 was my man Aquan, which was a top dog because Aquan was just like an overall beast of whatever sport he played. He played so physically, it was like raw talent. Like he was just naturally gifted athlete. He was like the number 1 around here. Like if you ask anybody around here who was like, if you ask anybody who was the best, like coming up with us, we would easily say Aquan. It might be people that disagree with me, but this is from my personal opinion. But the second would have to be my boy Dre, rest in peace. Cause Dre literally was the young Steve Francis. He had a good high basketball IQ. He could get buckets with the best of them, fast as hell, and also had a good floor general ability to make plays, pass when needed, and he had that ability. He came from a good basketball background. Unfortunately, he's not here today to verify this or but other people who were around me knew him, knew who Dre was. Dre was just that good of a point guard we had. And had hops too. Not clapping, but he literally could dunk. So yeah. But the next person I'm talking about is my boy, Double R, Arnold, aka Double R, Double R reminded me so much about Eddie Jones that, Eddie Jones like was the utility player. Like the same way Eddie Jones played was the way Arnold played. Arnold was athletic. He had hops. He had a decent jump shot. He had defense was good as hell. Not gonna lie. And besides the fact, my man Arnold was a hustler. So he was literally like the Eddie Jones of Tompkins projects. And of course, and then there was me, who was a chubby, fat kid who really didn't know how to play much. But as watching other people and going out there practicing, I got good. So, and those are my top three guys that was out here. Now, we're going to I give some respect to the people who came up behind me, such as my man Rel. Rel was really the only one out of us who went to high school. He went to college, played in Oklahoma, not Oklahoma University, in the city of Oklahoma. I think Bacon was the name of it. I'm not sure. I'll probably have to speak to him, but Bacon was the name of the university he went to go play with, and he came back home. That was about it. My man Grizz, Marley, Rel P, which I call Vince Carter. He had Vince Carter. He was mad athletic as hell. Um, yeah, and so far and so on. But we all grew up playing ball, but not all of us stayed on the ball path. I was just like one of the few who stayed on this basketball thing. Even still to this day, I still play ball. But when we go back and talk to like a lot of these other guys who've been hooping for years around here, we all go back, reminisce back in the day about everything. But who don't, man? Like, basketball is just such a great thing to do around here. I mean, we also play sports like two-hand touch, football, and baseball, but basketball was just our thing over here. So, yeah, playing ball in the hood was fun, man. I'm not even gonna lie, cause if it wasn't for a couple of dudes, I gotta give a shout out to my man Clan, my man La, for being the voices of literally being the voices of Tompkins, Mick, Spud. Those was like the nice dudes. Like they were to me growing up. I looked up to them playing ball. Like them dudes was just like there. They had everything. They played different places. They was playing in tournaments, winning championships and everything like that. And of course, a young cat like me coming up was like, wow, one day I want to be playing with them on the team, or whatever that case may be, man. My time actually came later on than what I thought. Once I got this growth spurt of 6'3", I was a 5'8", chubby kid, or whatever. Once I started playing ball, all that weight dropped and everything else. But yeah, shout out to but going to war with these dudes, playing with them in the hood, is what actually got me better as a basketball player, besides working out too. So, I got to give a shout out to them, man. If they probably listen to this, I hope they listen to this and I hope they see, how appreciative I was to them. Because me, I wasn't listening to them. These dudes only wanted me to sit there and, like, having a big frame and everything, like, yo, just box out, great rebounds, or whatever the case may be. And me, I'm like, forget that. Nah, man. I could do more than that. I could dribble, I could shoot, etc., etc. Except that when I went in to do it in the games, it wasn't a good outcome. Yeah. But I failed to realize that they was teaching me how to use my body right then and there before I could use it doing anything else, So, I gotta thank them. Like, without listening to them and that, I wouldn't have became a good basketball player that I was. So, shout outs to all my Tompkins OGs, man. Thank you very much for that. All right, my next topic is my high school career. Now, I went to Murray Bertram High School, which is located in Lower Manhattan, which is right by the Brooklyn Bridge. And it wasn't known for sports and everything like that at the time. And so I went there thinking that, oh, I'm nice. Dudes are sitting there complimenting me in the hood. I done, played in various basketball tournaments out here. And, I'm sitting there like going in the virtual, like, yeah, I'm nice. I'm going to have to go make this team and everything like that. I started out my freshman year. I didn't make it. And I'm sitting there like, why did I make it? And, and honestly, that's when I got a taste of reality that there are way other different ball players out here in New York City. Because when you played in the hood, all you was seeing was hood dudes and dudes from your hood, from your block. You wasn't seeing like a lot of people from uptown, Queens, Staten Island, Bronx coming to play. We had like a lot of local dudes. A couple of heads from Marcy Project, Sumner Project. Shout out to y'all, by the way. Brevoy, all we saw local dudes. So you you could hang with the best of them. Being that said, so yeah, but in high school was an eye opener to me. Like freshman year was an eye opener. Like, yo, I'm not as good as I thought I was. So after I got cut, I still played ball for the, I played ball, whatever the case may be. I played ball summer here, tournaments. We was traveling to, different parts of Brooklyn to go play in tournaments. So, so I said, all right, so next year I'm gonna try out. Next year, all right, I got the edge. I done played against different dudes in different boroughs and everything like that. So you know what? I'm gonna make it this year. Nope, didn't get it. I got cut in my sophomore year. My sophomore year, after that sophomore year, it was kind of heartbreaking, but not at the same time. I was like, yo, but I could also get better. So then, me being the hoop head I was, I started traveling to different boroughs to play basketball, like Queens, Manhattan. Even I didn't travel to. I traveled. Let me just say, I traveled to all five boroughs: Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, Bronx, and of course staying in Brooklyn. But yeah, that was my thing. I personally took it upon myself to say, you know what, I'm not getting any better just playing around here. Let me go test my ways out there. And it so happens that I was playing at this recreation gym in New York Rec Center in Smith Project, so it's not too far from Bertram. Literally, it's like down the block. Smith houses called Out East Smith Rec Center, and I would go there, and me being a gullible, crazy dude that I am, go there like it's a project. My project the same way, walking through, seeing these dudes or whatever like that, walking through, playing, going there, playing ball, etc., etc. And that's when I met Sean. Sean was a guy working there. He said, "Yo, we trying to get a team together for this, Hudson Gill team, because this is, that's who I work with." I said, "You want to play?" I said, sure, why not? So went to try out, went to workouts and everything like that. So I wound up playing with Hudson Gill under my man Cecil. Cecil was a cool dude. He worked for the rec department, Hudson Gill. So he had a plan for us, and I was like, "Yo, I'm all with this and everything like that." So it lasted through the summer and also into the winter. But I didn't try out for Bertram in my junior year because I was just like, you know what, I was tired of the heartbreak or whatever like that. So I just decided to keep playing with them. And playing with Caesar and them, I didn't realize how small the basketball world is. I'm cool with a couple people who I still play with, like BG, my man Jason the Entertainer. And yeah, that's about pretty much. I'm gonna be afraid that's the only two I really know right now. I don't know what happened to the other dudes, but we had a little squad. We had me, my man, we call him Trajan Langdon. I forgot his name, but I'm gonna remember it later. I call him Trajan Langdon because we used to joke like I'm Elton Brand, he's Trajan Langdon because we know we both are Duke fans. Duke is my favorite team, by the way. And so yeah, we had him. We had my man Snoop, and I remember playing with a lot of these dudes. Like, if I probably tell BG right now, like, you don't remember me playing with y'all and such and such, he probably laugh at it like, yeah, I remember a lot of dudes and everything like that. Even my man Jay, shout out to the Entertainer. I know, I see you out there doing your thing, bro. He ain't playing ball no more, but he still, fly as hell. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, so I didn't try out my junior year, and then my senior year, I said I'm gonna try out again. But prior to me trying out my senior year, I played in the intramurals. Bertram had intramurals, which I won, about 2, 3 championships. I can't remember, but we was like the end house was always like the best house. We was basketball savvy. We lost probably only once in a span. It was by some bullshit. Which Sean, if you're listening, Terrence, if you're listening, you know why we lost, and I am not going to let y'all live this down. But anyway, so yeah, so playing the intramurals, I didn't realize I was getting scouted. I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm getting scouted until senior year started, and of course I talked to my man Eddie. Eddie was the baseball coach at the time, and he designed the shirts, the Bertrand shirts, and everything like that. And I told him, we talked, we cool and everything like that. And I told him like, yo, you think it's worth me going to try out? He said, yeah, why don't you try out? I think Lou was scouting you during the intramurals. I said, scouting me? What are you scouting me for? because they lost some seniors, et cetera, et cetera. So why don't you go to him and see if you could play? If you go to workouts and stuff like that, they have workouts right now. I said, really? I'm a shy kid. I'm to myself. I'm used to people coming to me and asking me to play ball. So I swallowed my pride and I went and I saw Lou. I said, Lou, hey, Lou. I heard you having workouts right now. Can I come? Can I come through? Can I play? Work out with y'all? He said, oh, sure, you could come work out for us. And that then and there was when I finally realized there is way more to basketball than just sitting there playing basketball. I was not ready to do all that conditioning that we did. We ran the bridge, had inside conditioning, running, just running and running. That's just before I knew like the whole basketball situation. Like it involves conditioning a lot. And if you all you people who think about playing basketball, if you think just playing basketball is enough, it ain't enough. You need to be in top condition. And my advice to you is do a lot of cardio and light weightlifting. Anyway, so I got a taste of that. Then that's when the first time I started lifting weights because we had a little weight room. He wanted us to lift weights. So I'm sitting here like, damn, this is a lot. I'm sitting there huffing and puffing, a big fat kid about 6'2" at the time, a 6'1", 6'2" at the time. Like, this shit is crazy. This is what we gotta go through. I'm sitting there like this. In my mind, if I'm doing this, I better make this fucking team. But anyway, so after all that, summer comes, tryouts come. I was like this. Because like the previous one, I think the sophomore, I made it to the second round and they cut me. So the first round, I said, okay, I knew I was going to make the first round. Cool. I did workouts with them. Second round, there's a lot of nice dudes still left. Okay, I got to solidify my spot. I felt like I didn't do too well, but I made it past the second round. So it's the final round of tryouts. I'm sitting there like this. You know what? I'm going all out. I'm hustling, getting rebounds, but only played once. I'm sitting there like, that's it? Like, you only want me to scrimmage one time and that's it? I'm like, damn, I must have sucked that bad that, I must suck that bad that they don't want to see me play no more. Then when the list came out for me, I jumped for joy. I was so hyped that I made the Bertram basketball team. That was a goal of mine because that was a goal, like making the goal. Because like sitting there telling my boys back in the hood, like if you understand how guys work, they clowned you for damn near everything back in the hood. Like, yo, Bertram is a weak school. If you ain't get on Bertram, you ain't shit, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, and I had to endure that for 3-4 years. Meanwhile, all my other boys are playing JV, they're playing varsity, and all this other good stuff. And I'm sitting here like, damn, they doing all this, and I'm a late bloomer. So I was just like, I didn't have and let me just say this for the record. I did not have the greatest of basketball careers at Murray Bertram High School. I started some games and I didn't have, and I didn't start some games. But at the same time, all I did was mainly work hard and I earned those spots and I earned my playing time. I did not sit on the bench and moan and bitch and moan about anything and blame anybody else but myself. I looked at myself saying, yo, it's up to me to get this playing time. So, that was pretty much it. My Berkshire career ended on a loss to the first round to Erasmus Hall, and we got destroyed, man. They had this kid named Clifford Alt, which was like literally the all-city, all-American guy. I don't know what happened to him now, but he literally single-handedly destroyed all of us. And that's when I can remember my coach telling me that, Jason, you got the heart of a winner, but lack the Kevin Garnett skills. Besides the fact of me already being mad at this dude for saying his saying in tryout one day when I tried to bring the ball up, my idea of a big man bringing the ball up is not. You look good doing it, but that's not my idea of how I wanted to play. Now, besides the fact that stuck in the back of my head, him saying that I lack the Kevin Garnett skills, really, coach? Like, I'll be honest with you, it motivated me. So, after high school, that's when I started taking ball a little bit more serious. So now we get into my college career. My overall goal of life, of basketball life, was to make make a college team. You know, of course, I had aspirations. I want to go to Duke, St. John's. I want to go to Syracuse. But literally, I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't really have the grades, the SAT scores to go to those schools. So I stayed local. And going off a recommendation of my assistant coach, he said, "Oh, why don't you go to City Tech?" I talked to the City Tech coach. Okay, cool. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Well, I rolled in City Tech, and I went, and I was like, oh, okay. I took a semester. I went, one semester. They had tryouts. The coach was like, I went to see the coach before tryouts, and like, hey, I'm Jason. Oh, I know who you are. Lou told me this, and that about you, and and you new to his, and his playing style. So the press and everything like that. I said, yeah, I'm also like, okay. Well, trials is this day and this day. I look forward to seeing you, etc., etc. Bet. Now I'm sitting there thinking I got a connection and everything like that. Trials come. He completely forgot who I was. He said, literally looked me in my face and said, "Oh, well, don't let this be the end of you. You could come try out next year, etc., etc." So I was already hurt, and I was like, you know what? I had the aspiration of even playing in the NBA, but before I knew what it took to play in the NBA, so I was just shattered. I literally stopped playing ball for about a year or two. I started working at Toys R Us and doing all this other stuff. Then I started working at Best Buy. So I lost my little knack for playing ball for a while, and and miraculously, it took like a year later at the I transferred out of City Tech to go to BMCC because City Tech was a little bit way too much for me. So I just wanted to focus on my associates. So I went to BMCC. And it wasn't until after I left City Tech, I kind of linked up with my boys, TJ. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to my man Rel from Bertram. And they was going to play ball. And I'm like, oh, y'all going to play ball? Y'all still play ball? Yeah, we play ball at Chelsea Piers, etc., etc. I said, you know what? I can't go now. I'll catch you later. I got to go to work, etc., etc., whatever the case may be. So yeah, they said, all right, we'll catch you. We'll text you, whatever the case may be. So when I started playing ball with them again, it kind of got back to me, and I was like, yo, I'm hype, I'm motivated. I started playing in tournaments, Chelsea Piers, Basketball City, all this other places again. I started playing again because now I got an income instead of relying on my mother and my father at the time. I had an income. I could play in these tournaments now. So now I could play on these high level tournaments. My passion started reigniting. Like it started to come back. Started to be like, yes, I missed this. Why the hell did I stop it? And that pretty much sums up the end of the high school career. Now we're gonna go to the college career. Now, like I said, the college career was always like the main goal of mine. Like let me get into college, play college ball. That was my goal. So, unfortunately, as I was getting excited to play college ball, my father passed away, and that kind of left me like, it kind of left me on low. Like I didn't want to be around my family. I didn't want to be around anybody. I was just to myself because like literally, like my father literally was kind of like he was like the best, like my best friend. Like we would have talk conversation. We clashed a little bit, but I respected him, and as a teenager, you like, yo, why the hell are you doing this to me? Now being an adult, Jay, with a daughter, I fully understand and I love you, Dad, and rest in peace. And I want to say thank you for what you did for me. But I was grief stricken, but a miracle happened. So BMCC, my father passed in August '04. BMCC started in August, and I was grief stricken. I was still going to my classes and everything like that. Still managed to hoop around or whatever like that. So I went to the athletic director at BMCC to say, and want to know when the games and everything, whatever the case may be. So I went to him. He said, "Oh, okay. You know what? when I see the coach, I'm gonna give him your information. How tall are you? I said 6'3", and everything like that. I said, yeah, but you know me, I was already skeptical. Like, you're right, he ain't gonna call me. So I'm in hooping. I'm walking home. I'm working at Best Buy now. So I come home from Best Buy. I get a call like, hey Jason, this is Coach Carroll. BMCC. I got your information from the athletic director. Can you come to workouts or whatever the case may be? Wait, what? You are who? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure, coach. Yes, I can come. I would definitely love to come to tryouts. I mean, workouts. Sorry. I like to come to workouts. All right. So we work out 4 o'clock, etc., etc. So I had to request some time off for my job or whatever like that, just to see how everything goes. I was like, all right, it's perfect because I was still doing part time at Best Buy, late nights or whatever the case may be. I said, all right, perfect. So I go to the workouts, which I will honestly tell y'all college basketball preseason is the best way to get in shape. I learned how to eat better. I learned that I still could sleep. The sleep will affect me, so I learned how to sleep better. Like all this we had with our I'm gonna say conditioning coach taught me. Speaking of him, taught me all these things. But yo, when I say BMCC had me in the best shape of my basketball career, it had me in the best shape. We would run from 14th Street. We went from BMCC to 14th Street. If you know where that is, BMCC is on Chambers Street down by the West Side Highway. We would run up the West Side Highway to 14th Street, and we had to do that in a half hour and run back to the school. So after we run back to the school, then our other conditioning kicked in. And in a couple of days, Coach Carroll would have us do run to 14th Street and run back, run the Brooklyn Bridge, run back. So literally all that conditioning, I was literally like in the best shape of my life. If you follow me on Instagram and everything like that, you will see I always post a picture of me in college. You will see the results. So anyway, so tryouts come around. And before that, I remember Coach Carroll saying, like, yo, just keep coming to workouts, we got you. I don't believe everybody, because you can say you got me, and then next thing you know, someone else pops up. But anyway, so tryouts come around. I'm sitting here like, all right, they're telling me, I got a heads up on most of these cats or whatever the case may be. So we didn't work out, in tryouts or whatever like that, doing all the drills and anything like that. And this is when I realized, like, damn, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not running a lot of dudes, big dudes and everything like that. So first round of tryouts went good. I made the first round, already knew that. Second round tryouts was even better. Made it past that. So I started getting nervous. I said, okay, third round, I feel like I didn't do too good, and but I made it. In the fourth round, I was so exhausted from the first 2, 3 rounds. I was like, yo, this is some bullshit, man. Like, yo, I don't know. And I feel like I sucked. So then I went and they had posted up who made the team. And long and behold, yes, my goal of playing college basketball was coming into fruition. Now I'm gonna make this story short. Now, I didn't have the most illustrious career. I earned my playing spot. I earned my playing time, and unfortunately, because of a miscommunication with my grades and work, I literally chose work over basketball because I felt at the time work was an even better fit to me than playing basketball. I played majority of the whole season, and I literally didn't play the playoffs. So I was tight. I was like, you know what? Coming back next year, I'll do it better or whatever the case may be. I still was at the time. A lot was going on in my mind. I wanted to be here for my moms. I wanted to, have my own place, my own car, save up my money and everything like that. So I literally chose getting money over playing basketball, which was my passion. But everybody has a different story. You have a different way, different thing to do. But choosing that kind of hurt me in a sense. But at the same time, me playing basketball when I'm still grieving over my father's loss was kind of like the worst thing I could be doing too. So, I think if I probably had a clearer head, I probably would have chose basketball a little bit more. But then I probably would regret that choice. Be real with you, because there's a lot of things that could have happened. So now we bring this to after the college career was over with, it's only one season to be real with y'all. I only played one season at BMCC, which I wish I played two because I still didn't get my degree yet. And I only got two classes yet. So everybody go like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, go do your thing. Yeah, life happens and I procrastinate a lot. But anyway, so yes, so now after BMCC, I never stopped playing basketball. Matter of fact, I was motivated to play even more basketball. So I would play in tournaments like West Fourth, Tompkins Round Ball, any hood that had like a round ball tournament. I even played King Dome back in the day before it even was King Dome. And I played a couple times there. I played West Fourth, like I said. I played I can't remember the other tournament I played in. I played in some tournament down here on Best Star. I forgot. There's a lot of tournaments. I played in a lot of tournaments around here with my boys from here and a couple of my other boys, and then I also still was playing with a lot of my peoples in Manhattan too. So I would play in Manhattan a lot too, in Queens, etc. But that was just back in the day, man, when I was a hoop junkie. I'm still playing ball now. Let me rephrase that. I had knee surgery about maybe a year, 2 years ago. And it stopped me from playing ball, but that's because I was fat and out of shape. I could be much fat still right now, but once I get back into it, I feel like I could still play, not as on a high level as I played, like in other places, but I still could play. So yeah, after BSCC, I even picked up a neighborhood coaching job, like to coach around guys like from the hood and from like different boroughs. I started coaching like I'm gonna say 14 and 15 and under in the early 2000s, like 2005 or 4 or something like that. So yeah, that's my first actual coaching gig was back in those days. Then I'm sitting there playing, and I got hired by the city of New York, and then they had their own little team tournaments and stuff going on. So then I was like, yo, all right, I'm going into it or whatever the case may be, but and then helping out with the youth council at my job, I also started coaching some of the kids there too. So coaching kind of was already embedded in me already, and everybody kept saying, "You're like, yo, you're gonna make a good coach once you finish." When you put your mind to it. I'm like, I used to wait more like, yeah, whatever. I'm still gonna be playing ball till I'm 30. I ain't gonna be doing this, etc., etc. But it's funny how life throws you a curveball. So now, that being said, I was playing with my team, playing with my boys. I was playing with my job. So I was playing a lot of basketball. Literally, like every week, I had like 2 to 3 games or whatever like that. And then the greatest thing of all time happened. In 2009, the birth of my beautiful daughter, who I, in perspective, gave me even more of an understanding of how I could, use fatherhood and coaching in the same sense. So, with that being said, I was like, yo, I was hyped when my daughter came. Like, I was excited, I was ecstatic, nervous because I never, I see people hear horror stories about them having a child and stuff like that. But also at the same time, I was like, yo, I feel like I could adapt to anything. Like I could do this. I does this. Like, But anyway, so, fast forward later on, I'm still playing ball. Now old timers, me and my boy TJ, my boy Sam, my